the arena was silent. Islam Makhachev was minutes away from finishing another world title defense, when suddenly the cameras cut away from the octagon. A fight had broken out in the crowd, not between fans, but between Dillon Danis and members of Islam's team. Security sprinted into the stands, people were shoved, punches were thrown, and for a few seconds, the UFC lost control of its own event. Minutes later, Dana White stepped to the mic and delivered the kind of line you almost never hear in this sport. Dillon Danis is banned permanently.
Dillon Danis was here, and he was moving around, sitting in fighter seats and not sitting in his own seat that he had. He had a ticket, and they said, "Do you want us to throw him out of here?" And I said, "He has a ticket?" And I said, "Yeah." As stupid as this could be, that the entire Muslim Brotherhood was here tonight in the first 5 rows for Islam. And as soon as it broke out, I was over on the other side, and I go, fuck. You will never see Dillon Danis at a UFC fight ever again.
For most fighters, this would be the end of the story. But with Dillon Danis, this was just the latest humiliation in a career full of them. This is the same man Khabib vaulted out of the cage to attack at UFC 229. The same man who turned every press conference, every event, every public moment into chaos. And somehow, every time, he managed to embarrass himself worse than before. So today, we're asking the question almost every MMA fan has at this point. How does someone with world-class grappling, superstar connections, and every advantage end up becoming the most embarrassing man in MMA? And more importantly, was this downfall inevitable, or did Dillon Danis cross one line that finally destroyed everything?
An embarrassment for Dillon Danis!
Let's find out. Here's the thing about Dillon Danis that nobody wants to admit. He was famous before he earned it. Most fighters grind in regional circuits, build a record, earn respect, and then get attention. Danis did it backwards. He became Conor McGregor's training partner, got the cameras, got the Instagram followers, got the hype, and then barely fought. He talked like a champion. He acted like a superstar. He showed up to events like he owned the place. But inside the cage, almost nothing. 2 wins in Bellator, that's it. And fans noticed. They started mocking him early because the math didn't add up. All that talk, all that bravado, and nothing to back it up. This is where the embarrassment started. Not with a loss, not with a mistake, but with a gap. A gap between who he said he was and who he actually proved to be. Then came UFC 229, October 6th, 2018. Khabib Nurmagomedov in the 4th round. The crowd was going insane. And then, Khabib didn't celebrate. He looked at Dillon Danis in McGregor's corner. Words were exchanged. And then Khabib did something nobody had ever seen before. He jumped the cage. He flew through the air and attacked Danis. Chaos erupted. McGregor tried to jump out. Security swarmed. Punches were thrown from every direction. And when the dust settled, the entire world had one question. Who the hell is Dillon Danis? And why did Khabib literally jump out of the cage to get him? Within hours, the memes started. Danis getting slapped, Danis running, Danis cowering. The Nevada State Athletic Commission fined him $7,500 and suspended him for 7 months. But the damage wasn't financial, it was cultural. Overnight, Dillon Danis became a punchline in MMA, and instead of stepping back, staying quiet, rebuilding his credibility, he leaned into it. He started trolling harder, talking louder, acting bigger, and the embarrassment, it only got worse. Because here's what happened next. Dillon Danis fought online more than he fought in real life. Years passed with almost no actual fights. His Bellator career stalled. Injuries piled up. He had multiple knee surgeries. 7 hours of reconstructive surgery on one knee alone. But while his body was breaking down, his mouth never stopped. He feuded with everyone, celebrities, fighters, influencers, random people on Twitter. He showed up to events looking for confrontations. He got into altercations at bars, at gyms, at press conferences. Every public appearance turned into drama. And then came the moment that perfectly summarized his entire career. In 2021, Dillon Danis got into an argument at a bar in New Jersey. Security tried to remove him. And Dillon Danis, world-class Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, professional grappler, got choked unconscious by a bouncer. The video went viral. Even his own fans couldn't defend him anymore. Because how do you explain that? How do you hype yourself as one of the most dangerous grapplers on the planet and then get put to sleep by a bar security guard? The jokes wrote themselves. And the embarrassment became part of his identity. But nothing, and I mean nothing, prepared the world for what happened with Logan Paul. In 2023, Danis was offered a boxing match against Logan Paul. It was supposed to be his redemption, his chance to prove he wasn't just talk, his chance to show the world he could still fight. Instead, it became the night Dillon Danis turned into a meme forever. The buildup was cartoonish. Danis didn't just trash-talk Logan Paul. He went after Logan's fiancée, Nina Agdal. For months, he posted explicit photos of her. He harassed her online. He posted hundreds of times targeting her. It wasn't trash talk. It wasn't promotion. It was obsessive, disturbing cyberbullying. Nina Agdal sued him for serious damages, claiming each post was a new violation. His own lawyer eventually quit the case because Danis wasn't paying him. Reports say he owes hundreds of thousands in legal fees. But even that wasn't the worst part. The worst part was fight night. Danis showed up out of shape. Logan Paul dominated him, and in the final round, completely desperate and embarrassed, Danis tried to take Logan down. In a boxing match, he attempted guillotine chokes. He grabbed Logan's legs. He forgot what sport he was in. The referee disqualified him. Logan Paul won. And the internet absolutely destroyed Dillon Danis. He didn't just lose, he humiliated himself on a global stage. His entire identity became the guy who embarrasses himself. And for a while, it seemed like that was rock bottom. But Dillon Danis wasn't done yet. Let's talk about UFC 322, because this is where everything finally collapsed. In the weeks leading up to the event, Danis started posting on social media again. But this time, it wasn't just trash talk. He posted AI-generated videos, fake videos depicting Islam Makhachev and his manager Ali Abdelaziz in compromising, humiliating positions. He mixed in clips with adult film stars. He mocked their religion. It wasn't banter. It wasn't rivalry. It was gross. It was disrespectful. And Islam's team noticed. They responded publicly. The tension grew. And Danis? He kept going. He bought a ticket to UFC 322 at Madison Square Garden, November 16, 2025. Dana White knew Danis was there, moving around the arena. Staff asked if they wanted him thrown out. Dana said no. If he had a ticket, let him sit. But then they warned him about something else. Jorge Masvidal was there too, and Masvidal had been getting messages from Danis all week. Staff told Dana. Jorge Masvidal said he's gonna beat his ass on sight. Dana checked the seating chart. Masvidal was 6 rows away. He thought it would be fine. But then, Dana made a mistake. He forgot about who else was there. Islam Makhachev's entire team. His coach, Javier Mendez, Abubakar Nurmagomedov, Khabib's cousin, Magomed Zainukov, the undefeated fighter known as Chanko, all of them sitting in the first 5 rows. Danis walked right into their section, and he started showing them the videos on his phone right there. Videos mocking Islam, videos mocking their religion. Javier Mendez later explained, "What do you expect when you do that? You go and sit where the guys are sitting, and you're riling them up with huge disrespect." He was showing Ali and Islam in a relationship-type embrace. He was making fun of their religion. For Islam's team, that crossed every line. The main card was about to start. Daniel Cormier looked behind him during the broadcast. His face changed. Punches were being thrown. Security was sprinting. And suddenly, the UFC had to cut away from the biggest fight of the night because chaos had erupted in the stands. Magomed Zainukov attacked Danis first. Then Abubakar joined in. Danis was getting hit from multiple directions. His red shoe flew off. Fans panicked. Beer went flying. UFC Chief Business Officer Hunter Campbell tried to separate them. Security swarmed. And for a few horrifying seconds, the UFC lost complete control of Madison Square Garden. Meanwhile, Jorge Masvidal was making his way toward the action. But by the time he got there, it was over. He ran into Chanko in the hallway. Chanko's hands were covered in blood. Masvidal asked what happened. Chanko just said, No, all good, bro. Little problem I took care of." Masvidal was frustrated. He wanted to be the one to teach Danis a lesson. But Islam's team got there first. Dana White was furious. Islam Makhachev had just become a 2-division champion, one of the greatest nights in UFC history, and instead of celebrating, everyone was talking about Dillon Danis starting a brawl in the crowd. At the post-fight press conference, Dana made the announcement. "I blame myself for that, actually. It never even crossed my mind that the entire Muslim Brotherhood was here tonight in the first 5 rows for Islam. You will never see Dillon Danis at a UFC fight ever again. Permanently banned." The headlines came fast. UFC menace banned for life. Islam Makhachev said, "When you talk bad about someone for the last 5 years, when you meet them, you have to answer what you said." Today, I don't think he answered. He should be banned from his country as well. Fighters mocked him. Fans laughed. Even people who used to defend him gave up. Because this wasn't just another Dillon Danis moment. This was the final one. So here's the question we opened with. Was this downfall inevitable? Or did Dillon Danis cross one final line that destroyed whatever career he had left? And honestly, it was both. Because every embarrassment, every controversy, every moment of chaos, it was a choice. He chose to lean into the trolling instead of the training. He chose to fight online instead of inside the cage. He chose to humiliate others instead of proving himself. And in the end, the sport didn't reject him. He rejected the sport. Because in a sport built on discipline, respect, and proving yourself when it matters most, Dillon Danis proved one thing. You can't fight the world if you refuse to fight yourself. But here's what I want to know. Do you think this was the final downfall of Dillon Danis? Or is there still a way back for him in MMA? Was the UFC right to ban him permanently? Did he deserve it? Or did the situation spiral beyond what anyone expected? Let me know what you think in the comments. I read every one. And trust me, this is a story the MMA world won't stop talking about anytime soon. If you enjoyed this breakdown of Dillon Danis' downfall and the chaos at UFC 322, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tell me which fighter's story you want next. Because in this sport, there's always another story, always another rise, and always another fall.